Now, responsibility. So when the organization is when you need to delegate the authority, so authority is going to be delegated at that time. Responsibility also comes on the shoulder of the manager or the supervisor. What is responsibility? A supervisor should be held responsible for the act of subordinate. If the subordinates are doing some work, then whatever the work, whether it is good work or bad work, the subordinates are not responsible for that. Supervisor is responsible. वर्करने जर काही चांगलं केलं वाईट केलेलं असेल, लॉस जरी झाला तर सुपरवायझर रिस्पॉन्सिबल आहे, प्रॉफिट झाला तरी सुपरवायझर रिस्पॉन्सिबल आहे. नो सुपरवायझर शुड बी अलाउड टू अवॉइड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज बाय डिलिगेटिंग अथॉरिटी टू इज सबऑर्डिनेट. सुपरवायझरनी जरी त्यांची अथॉरिटी सबऑर्डिनेटला दिलेली असेल तरी in that case the supervisor is responsible for anything, whether it is a good or it may be a bad. Then authority is the tool by which manager is able to accomplish the desired objective. Authority काय आहे? Authority एक tool आहे. It is just like a weapon by which a manager is able to accomplish the desired objective. त्यापासून मॅनेजर आहे ना, त्याला जे पाहिजे ते टास्क असेल, डिझायर ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह असेल, तो अकम्प्लिश करू शकतो. द अथॉरिटी ऑफ इच मॅनेजर मस्ट बी क्लिअरली डिफाईन. प्रत्येक मॅनेजरची अथॉरिटी क्लिअरली डिफाईन असायला पाहिजे. देन ओनली इट इज पॉसिबल फॉर द मॅनेजर टू अकम्प्लिश हिज ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह. Authority and responsibilities must coexist at the same time in the organization. Okay, just to discuss, authority and responsibility always go in hand. So when there is authority there must be a responsibility, and when there is responsibility there must be a authority. So they must coexist in the organization. The next one is the efficiency. Organization should be able to attain the mission and objectives at minimal cost. So instead of saying minimum over here, I am going to say the optimum cost over here. So my organization should be able to attain the mission, whatever the mission of the organization, whatever the objective, whatever the output the organization want to achieve, that should be able to attain at the optimum cost. If you are going to say minimum, at that time you may compromise with the quality. Okay, because when you are going for the minimum cost, at that time you are going to compromise with the quality to some extent. So minimum is not always good, you have to go for the optimum cost. So simplicity, organization structure should be simple as possible with the minimum number of levels. So if the number of level go on increasing, my message may get distorted. Okay, so if you already studied in the your first year communication that if the message has to pass through the number of years. ओके, मला एक मेसेज पास करायचा आहे एका माणसापासून दुसऱ्या माणसापर्यंत. बट what happen if it is to go through number of levels? Definitely whatever I want to say, that may not be exactly what the last person is going to receive. My message is completely distorted. So it is always better that the organization structure should be as simple as possible with the minimum number of level. Okay, if the number of level will increases, definitely the time required for passing the message will increases, as well as the message chances of distortion of the message will be more. Then flexibility, the organization should be flexible enough, should be adaptable changing circumstances. My organization should be very flexible because I have to operate in the continuously changing environment. It should permit expansion and replacement without the dislocation disruption of the basic design. So when my organization should have to work in the changing environment, that if time requires, my organization should expand, and if it need to replace something, then it should be easily possible for me to replace something in the organization without dislocation and disruption of the basic design. माझी जी ऑर्गनायझेशनचं बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर आहे त्याला चेंज न करता, त्याला टोटली रिप्लेस न करता, त्या स्ट्रक्चरमध्ये मला चेंज करता आलं पाहिजे, त्या स्ट्रक्चरमध्ये इनकॉर्पोरेट करता यायला पाहिजे. देन इट इज कॉल्ड एज द फ्लेक्झिबल ऑर्गनायझेशन. अ साऊंड ऑर्गनायझेशन मस्ट अवॉइड कॉम्प्लिकेटेड प्रोसिजर. इफ यू वॉन्ट टू just remain competitive in the market, then you have to avoid the complicated procedure, red tape, excessive complication of control, so that it may adopt itself easily economically to business and technical changes. If your structure is very complicated, procedures are complicated, then if I want to just suggest a change over there, to implement the change I have to take the permissions of 100 persons, okay, or number of persons, then that is going to be discussed, so it requires a lot of time. Okay, त्याकरता आहे ना तुमचं ऑर्गनायझेशन जेवढी सिम्पल असेल फ्लेक्झिबल असेल तेवढं बेटर. कारण कॉम्प्लिकेटेड ऑर्गनायझेशन झाली ना की कंट्रोल खूप डिफिकल्ट होतं. अँड इन दॅट केस इफ आय वॉन्ट टू इम्प्लिमेंट सर्टन चेंजेस, इफ आय वॉन्ट टू डू सर्टन चेंजेस, then it is quite difficult for me to implement the changes. It is quite difficult for us to mold the organization as per the requirement of the market. Balance, there should be reasonable balance in the size of various department between centralization and decentralization. So centralization means what? The unity of command is at one place only. There is only one boss, that is called as the centralized organization, right, which is going to be controlled from the one person only. And decentralized organization means what? It has number of persons. That centralized person, all the authorities just accumulated at one location. And in case of decentralized, the authority is divided, the authority is given to number of persons. Just like in the organization there are purchase department, marketing department, finance department, HR department, quality control department. So in that case it is called as the decentralized organization. Decentralized organization is better, centralized organization is also better. Each one has its own pros and cons. So depending on your structure of organization, where it is a service organization, manufacturing organization, so you need to just use the combination of these two. It should be centralized to certain extent, it should be decentralized to certain. If it is a completely centralized organization, it will take the excessive time for taking the decision. If it is decentralized, then there is a responsibility, authority is not going to be clearly defined in case of that one decentralized organization. Okay, so you have to just choose a mix of these two, somewhat centralized as well as somewhat decentralized. There must be a balance in the formal structure as regard to the factor having the conflicting claims. Okay, so you need to find out, make the organization structure such that it should be a balanced one. It is a 50% centralized, 50% decentralized, or whatever the requirements as per the requirement of organization. You need to just adopt the structure. Then stability is referred to the capacity of the organization to withstand the losses. Okay, my stability is what? If some loss is going to be occur, then my organization should not collapse. Okay, it should be able to withstand certain losses of key personnel without much loss to the working. Okay, so stability, जरी तुमच्या ऑर्गनायझेशनला लॉस झाला, एखादा की पर्सन जो असेल, मॅनेजर असेल, सीईओ असेल, okay, he has resigned or he is no more, at that time your organization does not totally collapse. Okay, so your that should be sustained in that case also. Communication, it is the process of transmitting instruction, ideas, suggestion, information within the organization and outside the organization and to outside customers, suppliers, and all those who are affected. Okay, communication is very important for the organization. If my organization want to sustain in the competitive environment, then there must be a proper communication. So what is communication? In communication, I'm going to transmit the instruction, I'm going to transmit certain ideas, suggestion, information within organization. ऑर्गनायझेशन मध्ये आपल्याला सर्व गोष्टी ट्रान्सफर करायचे. त्या व्यतिरिक्त बाहेरचे जे माझे कस्टमर्स आहेत, सप्लायर्स आहेत, आणि ज्यांचा कोणाचं ऑर्गनायझेशन डायरेक्टली इनडायरेक्टली कॉन्टॅक्ट येतो, त्याच्यासोबत पण माझं कम्युनिकेशन असायला पाहिजे. A good two-way communication is essential for the effective functioning. If it is a good two-way communication, then only the chances of success of the organizations are there. If communication is not proper, your organization may not get succeed. Okay, or communication is very important. Unity of direction, there must be one objective and one plan for a group activities having the same objective. Okay, as the unity of, say, the goal of the organization is only one. So whatever the goal of the organization, my objective is only one and the plan should be only one. Okay, and that plan should be divided into number of groups, and the persons who are working in that particular group will carry out the activities which will ultimately lead to achieve that objective. Unity of direction facilitate unification and coordination of the activities at various level. So if I have the unity of the direction, then what is the importance of that? Unity of direction facilitate unification and coordination of activities at various level. So in my organization there are number of various levels are there. So if I have the unity of direction, then all my activities are going to be just work in the same directions. There is a good coordination among those activities. Okay, then next is personal abilities. The organization is a formal group of people. There is a need of proper selection, placement, and training. Okay, so if Manpower, as we already discussed, there are five major EM for the success of any organization. That is material, manpower, methods, okay, and machinery. And most important thing is the manpower. If you are not you are not properly selected the human resources in the organization, then it is quite difficult for you to success in this competitive environment. So when I'm going to select or recruit the persons, my selection process should be transparent enough. My placement and training should the training should be given to each and every staff member who is going to join the organization, and the organization structure must ensure the optimum use of the human resources. Whatever the organizational structure, my human resources should be used to the optimum level over there. Then what are the types of organization? So basically there are four types of organization. Okay, common types of organization: line and military or scalar organization. Line organization, that is a military organization or scalar. Then say functional organization. Then next one is line and staff organization, and the last one is the project organization. So these are the four types of organization commonly exist in the market. Now, what is line, military, or scalar organization? Line organization is simplest and oldest type of organization. It is also known as scalar or military organization. Line organization सर्वात simple आणि सर्वात जुन्या प्रकारांपैकी एक आहे. Okay, and basically it is called as the scalar or military organization. This is called military organization as it resembles old military organization where discipline is of high order. Now all of you knows that in the defense there discipline has given the utmost importance. So in those organization, line organization or scale organization, they have given the most importance to the discipline. Orders and instruction issued from top level is followed by the people below. Whatever the orders and instructions which are given by the commanding officer or the say top level manager must have to be followed by all the peoples who are under that person. The line organization represent a structure in a direct vertical relationship in which authority flows vertically downwards from top to bottom throughout the organization. So basically, line organization is a vertical organization. Okay, in which vertical relationship in which authority will flow from top level to the bottom level throughout the organization. Okay, as the flow of authority moves from top to bottom, this is called as line or scalar organization. As my authority will flow from top level to the bottom level, that's why it is called as the line organization. Peoples at the different level know to whom they are accountable, and this is the very important thing for this line organization. Everyone knows to whom he has to report. Who is, okay, they are accountable. The quantum of authority is highest at the top and reduced at the successor level. So the top management have the highest authority, okay, and the bottom level has the less authority. The superior communicate his decision and order to his subordinates. The subordinate in turn can communicate them to those who are immediately under them. So your information will flow from top level to the medium, middle level to the bottom level. Okay, so in case of line organization, represent a line organ having the three main departments like production, finance, marketing. Here the flow of authority is from general manager to the department head, superintendent, foreman, and then worker. Okay, so we are going to just discuss one figure over here. This is the line organization. So in like general manager is there. The general manager has given the command to these production manager, finance manager, marketing manager. Then the production manager gives the commands to superintendent. Then superintendent gives command to the foreman, and the foreman gives command to the worker. In the same manner, general manager gives to the command to the financial manager. Financial manager gives command to the assistant financial manager. Then assistant financial manager gives to the accountant, and accountant gives to the clerk. In the same way, marketing manager, general manager gives command to the marketing manager. Marketing manager gives command to the assistant marketing manager. Then he will give command to the sales supervisor, and then sales supervisor gives command to the salesman. Okay, so work manager, here this is the line organization. Work manager is there, superintendent is there, then foreman is there, workers are there. So your authority will flow from top to bottom. Okay, now what are the advantages of this organization? It is simple and easy to understand. Okay, this organization is simple because it is simply flowing in the downward direction. Okay, from top level to middle to lower level to the supervisor. It is flexible and can be easily expand or contract. Okay, and it can be flexible. You can just remove certain stages, or you can just add certain stages in between, so it can be easily expanded or it can be easily contracted. There is a clear division of authority and responsibility. In this case, my authority and responsibility is clearly divided. Hence, no scope of shifting the authority or responsibility. याच्यामध्ये काय authority आणि जी responsibility ती प्रत्येकाला ऑटोमॅटिकली डिफाईन झालेली आहे. त्यामुळे असं कोणीच म्हणू शकत नाही की हे माझं काम नाही आहे. वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू शिफ्ट or blame anyone for our responsibility or authority. There is a clear channel of communication, so there is no chance of confusion. Okay, as in this case, only one manager is responsible for give the command. So what happens? Your channel of communication is clear, very clear. So the chances of confusion are less. So worker knows he has to report to foreman one. Foreman knows that he has to report to the superintendent, and superintendent knows that he has to report to the work manager. So authority is clearly defined over here. It encourages speedy action, and the important is that the speed of communication and actions are going to be very high over here. And the last, it is a strong discipline. Okay, it has the strong discipline खूप चांगल्या प्रकारे मेंटेन होतं त्यामुळे. Disadvantages: lack of specialization. Okay, as each one has certain advantages as well as disadvantages. The disadvantage includes it has a lack of specialization. Departmental heads are overburdened with the various routine jobs, so that they do not have time for further expansion and planning. Okay, whatever the department heads are there, they have to do the multiple work at the same time. Okay, various routine jobs are there and all these things, so they have overburden in this case, and so that they are not getting the time for the planning purpose. It overload few key executive, that also overload for certain few executive. Due to lack of specialization, there may be chances of accident, wastage of material and manpower. Okay, so as specialization is not there, so what is that? It will result into the accident, it will result into the wastage of material, as well as it will also result into the wastage of manpower. Okay, chances in the delay of communication in order that the general manager or any other department head to the worker, and therefore possibility of distortion due to long channel. Okay, so delay communication is going to be delayed in this case, because what happened, my information has to flow from top level to bottom level. So I'm going to receive the instruction from the general manager, then decisions come to the finance department, then from the finance department assistant manager, so it will cause a certain time delay over there. ओके, they encourage the dictation way of working. इथं तुम्हाला काय, तुम्ही जसं सांगाल तेवढंच काम होणार आहे. ओके, इट इज द डिक्टेशन वे ऑफ वर्किंग. सो if you're going to say nothing, no command is given, the workers are going to just simply relax over there. It has no mean of rewarding good workers. So if good workers are there who are going to really work in the effective manner, there is no reward for the workers over there. Okay, so motivation is less in this case. Then application, this type of organization structure is suitable for small factories, medium size, where the number of subordinates and operational staff are less. Okay, so for large organization it is not suitable for continuous process such as sugar, paper, oil refining, spinning, weaving, industrial structure, textiles. Okay, so these are the example. We can implement to the sugar mill, we can implement to the paper mill, we can implement to the oil refining, spinning and weaving industries, textile industries, suitable where the labor problems are not difficult to solve. ओके, कुठे आपण यूज करू शकतो जिथे लेबर प्रॉब्लेम खूप जास्त डिफिकल्ट नसेल, दॅट द टाइम यू कॅन इम्प्लिमेंट दिस वन. सुटेबल वेअर द ॲटॉमिक प्लांट्स आर यूज, सो न्यूक्लियर पॉवर प्लांट्स सच एज तारापूर, I can implement such type of process over there. Okay, so these are the some types of this is my line organization, military organizations. Okay, so now in the next lecture we will discuss about the functional organization, other type of organization.